Good morning, it's June 23rd, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Well, Saturday morning, the United States launched a raid on Iranian nuclear facilities. The mission, codenamed Midnight Hammer, is being described as a complete success. The nuclear sites in Iran, at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, were attacked with different weapons. The most significant was the use of 14 GBU-57B massive ordnance penetrators. These are 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs. These bombs were dropped on Fordow and Natanz. In addition, 30 Tomahawk missiles were fired on the nuclear facility at Isfahan. The result is Democrats claiming that Trump has declared war on Iran and that constitutionally he cannot take that act. They point to the War Powers Act and that he needed congressional approval to take the actions he authorized. Of course, they conveniently forget when Democratic presidents have taken similar actions against militant regimes that threaten the United States and its allies. President Obama embraced a U.S. drone program that launched 563 strikes that targeted Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen. Intelligence estimates that between 384 and 807 civilians were killed in those strikes. In 2011, Obama authorized an air campaign against Libya with the intent of taking out Muammar Gaddafi. His reason was to protect democracy demonstrators. The question that everyone should be asking is, why were Democrats not calling his actions an impeachable offense? I think we all know the answer to that question: politics. Their angst today is all about politics and nothing more. In the attack on Libya, Obama declared, quote, "We knew that if we waited one more day, Benghazi, a city nearly the size of Charlotte, could suffer a massacre that would have reverberated across the region and stained the conscience of the world," end quote. In the Rose Garden speech, after acknowledging Gaddafi's death, Obama noted, quote, "Without putting a single U.S. service member on the ground, we achieved our objectives," end quote. Sounds like the mission we just did. Not a single service member on the ground. The Democratic leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, showed some particular hypocrisy. He's the same politician who supported unilateral attacks by Democratic presidents and also support of President Bill Clinton when he launched a cruise missile attack under Operation Infinite Reach, where missiles were fired at Sudan and Afghanistan. And I cite this sample of hypocrisy because what took place this weekend took out a major threat from a radical Islamic State, a threat that existed to all of the Middle East and to Europe as well. It removed the threat that the theocratic leadership of Iran could have developed a longer-range missile that could eventually strike the east coast of the United States. Now you have members of the Democratic Party politicizing this attack and calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. And again, as I said, they cite the War Powers Act. This has always been a controversial act and largely ineffective as per the instances of the Democratic presidents I just cited. Presidents have used the inherent powers to conduct such attacks under Article 2 under their authority as Commander-in-Chief. The War Powers Act requires the President to inform the Congress within 48 hours in a written notice of the Speaker of the House and the President pro tem of the Senate. Reportedly, President Trump did notify those congressional leaders within the 48-hour requirement. The fact that both those leaders were Republicans makes complaints of Democrats a moot point, but it's why they're so angry. But the White House stated they did notify Chuck Schumer, but could not get in contact with Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries prior to the attack. Both Schumer and Jeffries condemned the attack, but you'll notice they did not say they were not notified. That notification or attempt to notify would be on record. Now, if I were a Republican senator on the floor of the Senate, when Democrats demand some sort of vote on this action, I would be quick to cite the example of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. During the Obama administration, she pushed for unilateral attacks and dismissed the need to consult, let alone get any authorization from Congress. In March of 2011, Secretary Clinton testified there was no need for such consultation and declared the administration would ignore a 60-day limit on unauthorized military actions. That's language from the War Powers Act, the 60-day limit. Obama also defied the War Powers Resolution on Syria. He actually did ask for congressional authorization to take military action in that country in 2013, but Congress refused to approve it. Obama did it anyway, and I do not hear one Democrat demand he be impeached. The real success point of this mission was the secrecy. I'm sure there are people in the Pentagon that do not like Trump and would have loved to have leaked the news of this attack to someone on Capitol Hill. And then you could bet that news would be leaked to the media and the critical surprise factor would be gone, putting those service members carrying out the mission at great risk. It took weeks to plan this mission, and yet it was kept under wraps, and that's a credit to the Pentagon leadership. We should also congratulate all the men and women involved in this mission. These service people, from the planning to the execution, put themselves in harm's way and did so because it's their duty. The mission was a success, and one should have been done. We simply cannot allow Iran and its theocratic despots to continue to threaten the world with their push for a nuclear weapon. It's been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.